Hello, this is Pavel from DevOps Codes Academy. Today we're gonna continue our journey with Terraform and AWS. If you missed last lesson, go to the previous video to learn how to start with Terraform. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave some comment under the video. So today we will learn about EC2 instance and provision it by Terraform. We have also a video about provisioning EC2 instance manually, so you can also check it on our playlist. But today we're gonna learn how to write a code to have it provisioned automatically. Let's jump to the console. Okay, so we are back in AWS Web Console. As you can see, I have started my EC2 instance, the same one that we were using in the previous lesson. So let's connect to it. This instance, it's stopped. Should be running right now. Let's refresh the page. Try to connect, and yeah. So in the last lesson, we were creating S3 bucket by Terraform. So we have it already installed. We have these files. And as you can see, we have also a Terraform state file. It's a local state. And in the next lesson, I think we will learn how to create a remote state. And we can use S3 bucket for that. So we can keep our state of our infrastructure in the cloud. So it's easy to cooperate with other people, right? If we have it on our local computer, so how others can know what is the current state. As you can see, here's the version is number 4. Terraform version is the one that we are using, the latest, and we have no resources. So let's create our S3 bucket that we were using last time. I hope you have this. Maybe I was using root last time. Let's see. I hope you have the same files from the last lesson. Yeah, it looks like I was using root. So let's apply. Completed. So let's do cut on the state, and you can see that now state has our resources. And we're gonna put it into the S3 bucket in the next lesson. Just wanted to show you right now. All right, but in this lesson, we're gonna create EC2 instance. So in the documentation, we have an example, resources AWS instance. Then we have this ID of the resource. We have to point for the Amazon machine image, instance type. And we can also add some tags and some additional properties. Let's copy this from HashiCorp, from the official website. We can create a new file, ec2.tf. We can paste it. And let's change it. We can say it's web server. We will install the Nginx. So about AMI, we can go to EC2 and we should have it here, images. So we can filter owned by me, private images, public images. So we can try to filter Amazon here. Which I'm gonna find here, Amazon. What I'm looking for the latest Amazon AMI. Oopsie. And you have to be careful because the value will be different for each region, right? So pay attention that I'm in Singapore. Okay, maybe. No, that's not here. But anyway, we can also check it if we go to the EC2 instances, and if we want to create a new one, we can see here. And we've got it here for 64-bit x86 Amazon Linux 2. Okay, and we've got it here, so it's much easier to copy. Let's take it. And remember, if you are in different region, or after some time, the image version might be different. So don't use the same as I'm using. Let's use T2 micro, as I hope that you don't run all the time any instance. So even if we will have two instances running at the same time for a short time, less than 750 hours during month, during the free tier, we will not have any costs. And we have a tag. Let's say we can put Nginx. All right, so if we speed it up, it will create it, I think, in the default VPC. But let's go first to Terraform documentation. Terraform EC2 instance. And we have it here, AWS instance. So we have examples here. We can also, instead of going to the web console, we can use data resource to find the latest AMI from, for example, here's an Ubuntu. So it's also an option to do it in this way. We have it here. And of course, we can create a different VPC, but I guess we're gonna go for networking in a different episode. So we will not go here to all of these parameters. So we can see, sorry, we have the AMI, we can associate public IP address, availability zone, much more parameters. And you see many of them, they are optional. So what I would like to do here, I would like to add two things. The first thing will be the IAM instance profile. This will help us to utilize AWS IAM policies to interact with AWS. So you can copy this value. Let's go here. Right, and we will have to point to the instance profile. And to point to the instance profile, we have to create an instance profile. So if we go to EC2, it will be in IAM. I think it will be in IAM, right? And we see there's the resource instance profile. An instance profile, it has a name and it has a role. So we have to create a role and instance profile. This is how we're gonna interact in Terraform. You start with one resource and then you see what other resources you have to create, right? So we have instance profile. Let's call it S3 profile. S3 profile, and IAM role, and let's call it S3 role name. So now, as you can see, we have to create a role. And we have an example of a role here that we can assume role policy. So let's take it. And remember, if we are referring to an S3 role here, we have to change the name of it here as well. Name can be S3 role, path we can leave it, assume role policy. We want to allow Ec2 service to assume this role. That's why we have to specify it here. And for the role itself, if we go to IAM role, we have IAM role. We can have a custom policy. We can use also a data resource to specify it. So there are many different ways to do the same. But we want to have an inline policy here for the role. So we can do like this block. It will have 1, 2, 3 open, 1, 2, 3 close, right? So we can take this one, and this will be under EOF, inline policy. We can leave it as it is because Terraform format will help us. My inline, we can add S3 policy, JSON to code action, and we want to have S3 all actions. Allow everywhere. Okay. So we will have it. We have IAM role. We have instance profile. And now we have to refer to our instance profile at instance. So we have to type here AWS IAM instance profile dot S3 profile. We refer it to this value. Now we have to go and check instance profile. Ensure your credentials have correctly assigned the profile according to the system. Without the IAM pass role, I think we should be able to do that from our perspective as we are using administrator access keys. So if we go back to instance profile, we see that we can have ARN or instance profile ID, and it's not specified here. But I guess we're gonna try to refer first by ID. If this will not work, we can try to use ARN. Okay, have it. So we have an instance, we have instance profile with role that will allow us to interact with S3 without adding any keys to that instance. That's a very good thing. So let's try to launch it. Control X, Y, enter. Terraform fmt to format the file, so we can see now the file should look a little bit better. It does. We can do Terraform validate to check if there's no syntax, and it's success. Good, configuration is valid. So let's try to make Terraform plan. So the bucket is already created. It will only refresh the state, and we see that we have 3 resources to create. Let's browse them. Instance profile will be created, IAM role will be created, and instance web server, right? This is the name that we defined it here. And we have this AMI, and you see that many of the parameters, they will no longer apply. So let's try to create this. All right, enter value yes. Role is creating, and we have it. And we have a problem creating EC2 instance invalid AMI. All right, so let's see. This is Singapore, and in which region are we referring? That's a good question. So let's check it, cat main, and we have a region, so you can see provider AWS region EU Central 1, right? So it will try to create this instance in EU Central 1. So what we can do here quickly, we can change it to Frankfurt and grab AMI from here. Postman AMIs, and this will be the Amazon Linux 2. All right, go back here, edit our EC2, replace this AMI. So I have a good example to see that we cannot use AMI across regions. They are specific per region. All right, let's try to create this instance once again. It's creating. So if we go to the instances, and we see that there's the tag name Nginx and it's pending, so it will create it. All right, that's good. So as you remember, maybe from the very first lesson when we were creating an account, we also created an EC2 instance and installed Nginx there. So let's see. Yeah, by default, when we create an EC2 instance, it will go to the AWS default VPC, and we will get a public IP address. And we were installing Nginx manually, but we can do it also automatically, and we can utilize something that it's called cloud init. Let me see where we have it. It's user data here, right? So user data we can use to provide some script when launching the instance. So we can do it like that. Let's go back and we see the instance has been created. That's great, but it's nothing there, right? If we open this address, it's nothing there. You can also check the security group, and by default you can see everything is open here. That's not secure, of course, but we are doing only some tests, but there's nothing there, so it will not open. So let's fix that. So what we can do right now in our instance, let's put tags a little bit lower, and we can define user data. And for user data, we can have another file, and I will show you how does it work. So we can have a data template file. We can call it init, and let's make rendered. Let's go to the top. I always try to put any data or locals in the very top. So we can have it template file. Have to call it init. Template. And let's use the file function. $path module, find it, and we can have it, let's say init tpl. All right, I think that should be good. One more double quote inside here, and of course we have to close the bracket for data. Okay, Terraform fmt is good. So now let's create that file, init tpl, like a template. So what we can do here, we can write a bash script here. So we can do the shebang in the beginning. As this is Amazon Linux machine, so we can do yum update flag y will make it automatically yes to any questions. And let's find install nginx Amazon Linux 2. How to install it, I don't remember. But of course we can find it. Let's see if it's here. Amazon Web Services. Yeah, there are also some manuals. Launch starters, connecting, installing. But this is apt here, and I would like to have it for Amazon. How to install scopes. This also. What I would like to do is to get it from some official documentations. AWS, is there any yum? No, there is no yum. Install nginx on Amazon Linux AWS docs. They have it. There is something on Stack Overflow. And also Stack Overflow can help us. Okay. So we can see here enabled. Okay, let's try this one command. Yum update, and we can skip sudo as this should be executed as sudo by default. Okay, here. And let's just ensure that the nginx system ctl start nginx. Let's see. All right, let's save this. Terraform validate. Let's see if working. Okay, so we are missing the provider because we have added templates. So now we have to rerun Terraform init to download this provider for template. Rerun validate. Looks it's good. Terraform apply. Let's see if it will find the change here. So as you can see, it's reading from the data file. Read is complete. And we see that user data will be added. All right, let's see. So it's modifying right now, and we have our nginx, and you can see that Terraform will restart the EC2 instance to apply this scripts that we have defined. And let's see if this will work or not. If not, we can do some debugging. So I will show you how to go and check the logs of user data. I think it's very useful that we are doing this live. I'm not preparing these lessons like, fixed scenario. These are the things that I'm not doing on daily. So I want to show you how I go to the documentations, how I go and find some information on the internet and then apply the solutions. I think it's a big value for us. All right, so instance is stopped, pending, so I guess it will be restarted very soon. You can see the Terraform showing that it's still modifying. Now we see the instance is running. Okay, and apply was complete. So let's see if this worked or not. Can also maybe let's try the public DNS. Port 80. Sure. Okay, it will not go because the security group, that was my mistake, it's open for all ports, but only from the security group, right? So let's just modify it manually here. And in future, we can write a security group. Anyway, may not specify set for existing. Okay, so let's leave it. We can make it only HTTP from everywhere. Oh, that was security group, so let's leave it here. Okay, and let's check if this will work now. Connection was reset. Let's try again. No, still not working, so probably something went wrong. Okay, so now we can go to the EC2 instance and let's try to, or maybe it's still initializing. Let's give it a while. Okay, status check passed, but still nothing. Okay, so let's connect to this EC2 instance. It has a public, but we don't have port 22 open. So let's open port 22. Yeah, it will probably not work. So we can go back to security group, open port 2020 everywhere, save rules. Let's refresh. Okay, and we are here. So now what we can do, we can debug. So let's go to the cd var log. And you see in cd var log, in var log, we have logs and we have cloud init output log or cloud init log. Let's check both of them. That's a lot. We can try to find if there's cloud init log. We can do grep here on nginx if there's anything. There's not. So there was another file, cloud init output grep nginx. Okay, so once again, nothing. Cat cloud output. Okay, check packages available. Maybe it didn't apply it there. Let's check it. User data, replace and change when used information. User data, replace and change. That might be the issue here. So let's try to have it in our EC2 configuration. We have user data, replace and change true. X, Terraform FMT, Terraform apply. Let's see if it will want to replace the EC2 instance. Let's have it here. All right, so let's try modify. Let's try to do some quick troubleshooting. So let's try to execute the commands manually, right? So we see that yum update, it didn't execute it. So I suspect that it's because we have already created Ec2 instance and added user data after that. So we can also try to delete the instance and recreate it from scratch. And I can show you in a while how this will work. But before that, cat init template. So I just want to ensure that this will work. Right. Okay. So if we have it, now it's not working. So systemctl start nginx, and now call localhost, and it's working. So we see the commands are good. So what we can do now, we can delete that instance, and we can make it Terraform destroy, and instead of destroying all of our infrastructure, we can make a target. So target will allow us to interact with the specified resource. So let's try to execute Terraform destroy target AWS instance web server. That's the one that we have. All right, to delete our instance, and as you can see, resource targeting is in effect. So we know that we are only interacted with the one that we want. That's not something that we do on daily, but it's a very useful feature when we want to try to debug something, migrate some stuff, and sometimes we don't want to touch other resources. So when do some manual testing from your local machine, it's a very useful feature of targeting a single resource. Of course, we can add multiple flags in one command. Okay, Terraform destroyed. So if we do apply right now, it will find out that there's no instance. This is not working anymore, I guess. Let's refresh. Yeah, so we see that there's no instance running. It's terminated. And we see that one EC2 instance will be created. All right. Creating, and hopefully this time everything will be okay. So we see there's another one already pending, and let's give it 1 or 2 minutes. I will cut the video to wait until it's working. All right, the status check is still initializing, but if we go this time to our public IP and open address, I think we should get nginx already. Let's copy from here. Don't know why it doesn't work. Yeah, so you can see we have nginx on Amazon Linux. That's good. So once again, go just quickly to the instance just to show you the logs. Hopefully we should see the logs from user data. Log cat cloud init log. Still a lot. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of it. So let's try to use grep once again. Nginx, nothing here. Cloud init output grep nginx, and we see, yeah, that it was installing. So So let's do it without grep and see if we can track it. Installing, that was here, cloud init. Yeah, that's the output. So we see the YAM was waiting. Now it was removing and updating some packages. And I guess complete. And we see cleaning repos, Nginx here, right? So it went and it installed Nginx. Great. So one more thing, if you remember, we also added an instance profile. So we should be able to interact with AWS S3, and that's also working. So we can list buckets, we can create, we can copy files, but this is a topic for different lesson, of course. Just to want to show you, if we go AWS EC2, let's see, help. So we can, let's say, describe EC2 instances. I think there should be a command like that. I just want to show you that we can describe instances. I just want to show you that we can interact only with S3. We must specify region. So let's make region, make it with double, EU Central 1. And you see we are not authorized to perform this operation, right? Because our instance has profile that allows us to interact only with S3. If we take the same command and run it from the instance where we are having Terraform, and just because we are using access keys here from the last lesson, you can see that we can list instances, right? This is the difference. And this is the benefit of using IAM roles with instance profiles. So thanks to this, if your application is interacting with other AWS services, we can just add it to the instance profile to let it go. All right, thank you. That's all for today. To make a quick summary, so we created EC2 instance using Terraform. We checked Amazon machine image, and remember it's different ID per region for the same image. We configured user data. We have added IAM role with instance profile. Hopefully you find a value here. Please subscribe, leave your comment. Don't forget to like the video, and see you in the next lesson when we will continue AWS with Terraform. That was Pavel from DevOps Codes Academy. Wish you a good day. All right, just before we're gonna finish, of course, don't forget to clean after yourself. It's very easy to leave resources running. So what we're gonna do Terraform destroy to delete S3 bucket, EC2 instance, and all other resources that we have created. And after that, stopping my EC2 instance. And I think in the next lesson, I will show you how to install VS Code. So we're gonna move from EC2 instance to your local machine. Hopefully it will be a little bit challenging for you to have it. All right, so the resources have been deleted. And now don't forget to stop the instance